This video is brought to you by Drio. More about them later in the video. Listen guys, this car has a very nice interior. I would argue it's probably the nicest Honda interior from the early 2000s, and if not, one of the nicest interiors from the early 2000s in general. It does not look like a 2004 in there. High quality materials, good tech, good sound, comfy seats, but there are a few issues. For one, and secondly, plus there are things I want to improve. I want CarPlay, I want a rear view camera, I want subwoofers, I want better lighting. And so in this video, we're going to be completely redoing the interior on the Accord. New, more aggressive seats, custom headliner, new radio, new sound system, new lights, and maybe a few other things. And I'm gonna show you guys how to do this to your own daily driver for a pretty fair price. First things first, I'm gonna go ahead and pop out all these lights. Take note of the part numbers, 194, 3175. And I'm gonna go ahead and order some LED replacements on Amazon for $7 or $9. It's without a doubt the cheapest and easiest way to make your interior brighter and a little bit more modern. So we'll install those once Amazon delivers them. For now, we're going to work on disassembling the interior. So seats have to come out. The old head unit has to come out. Obviously, everything on the top has to come out, which may prove difficult. And we're gonna start working on installing our new radio. As always, we have an ATOTO head unit, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The main thing is that this Accord does not have a standard double DIN dash, and so we have to do a conversion, which is expensive and a little frightening. But first, we gotta tear it apart. So the radio area is all disassembled. Over here we have the factory dash radio. The reason why we're replacing this is because you can't just stick a new radio in there. But it's difficult because the climate control is integrated. And that's an important thing on this vehicle. It's got dual zone automatic climate control, which is really awesome for 2004. And so you have to be able to keep that, in my opinion. And that is where the aftermarket dash kit comes in. This comes with a new climate control system. It'll control the climate control just like factory, and then it has space for a double DIN stereo. You know, does it look quite as nice? That's arguable. There are a couple different options for dash kits on Amazon and other websites. There are some cheap ones that look pretty good, but have terrible reviews. Everybody says the climate control doesn't work. This one was almost $400, and the reviews still aren't perfect, but they're much better. And I think it looks pretty good. There was another one that was also expensive, but looked like trash. So now we have to install that, and it's not just as simple as bolting it back in. Voila! Physically, the radio is ready to go in, but while all this is out of the car, we're gonna go ahead and wire the ATO2 harness to the adapter harness here. So that's just connecting all the speaker wires, steering wheel control, etc. So the wiring is done and everything is just kind of put lightly into place and plugged in. Okay, so that's right. P21. Oh, and the ATOTO is powering up. Lovely. Sounds like only the rear speakers are working though. So there was this amplifier thing I needed to grab off the factory radio. Now, as you might be able to tell, it works. CarPlay is working, playing some Moog, of course. I could, you know, don't want to show that though. The last thing I want to do is go ahead and put in the rear view camera. Rear view camera is pretty easy to install. First, you just gotta mount it. Not gonna fully tighten it down yet. Next, we have to get these wires inside the car. Sometimes you have to drill a hole in your car. Thinking I can get them in through the license plate lights though. Either way, we're gonna have to take this off to run the wires. So the wires are routed through the trunk into the interior. Now I'm routing it through this side trim. So now I gotta do up and dash into the area. Put it into reverse. Hey, yo. Don't know why it's doing all that, but definitely is working. There we go, figured it out. So now with a little bit of magic, I make this get mounted in there. I mean, look at how it's upside down, but look at how beautifully it fits. Well, there we go. We've got the new head unit installed. Huge thanks to ATOTO for sending out their S8 head unit for the car. This thing is awesome. Wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, and it loads up really fast. The screen is super high resolution. I mean, look at Neil. It's also responsive. It also has a bunch of in-depth audio tuning capabilities. It is really the perfect budget-friendly head unit. Now the actual dash kit turned out pretty good. All the AC controls and whatnot work great, but as you can tell, it's a slightly different finish than the factory dash. And that, you know, as a perfectionist who spent almost $400 for it, it bugs me a little bit, especially since the cubby that comes with it matches the dash way better. So if they just made it out of the same material, it would just all be better. But it is what it is. It's pretty good, and the auto AC and stuff works. Out with the old and in with the new. So these are Corbeau's suede LG1s. Let me tell you, after having suede Corbeau seats in the Fit, I absolutely fell in love with them. The suede looks incredible. It wears really nicely. It's easy to clean, and it doesn't really actually look dirty. And so that's why I knew I wanted them for the Accord. I didn't want to get the exact seats that the Fit had, so I got these. They're a little bit less tight, but the bolstering is massive, so still comfortable but holds you in. Plus, I think they fit the vibe of the Accord a little bit better. A little bit more luxury with the all black. And these seats are providing the entire inspiration for this interior revamp, because we're gonna be bringing suede in to the rest of the interior. In fact, that big roll of upholstery that you saw in the last video, that's Corbeau suede. Corbeau offers matching material that you can buy to reupholster your own interior. And so that's what we're gonna do for the headliner and for some of the trim pieces and for the steering wheel. It's gonna be sick, but that's not yet. So now that the seats are out, we're gonna test fit these new ones. Fingers crossed. Okay, firstly, these look sick in here, and once the headliner is the same material, oh my goodness, I'm gonna be so pumped. Secondly, we gotta give it up to Corbeau, because this is my third set of Corbeaus I've installed in the car. Guess how many times I've had to modify a bracket? Okay. 0. That is unheard of for seats. I'm telling you, I've never installed a seat in a Miata and not have to drill something out to make it fit. But Corbeau be killing it. As soon as I saw these seats, I knew they were the ones. Super comfortable. Seating position is probably about 2 to 3 inches lower, which is great because it felt like I was sitting in a monster truck before. The tip of the bolster sits out farther than my stomach does. So like I ain't going anywhere. Now, we aren't quite done. These seats have heat seaters in them. Since the factory seats had heat seaters, I knew I wanted to keep some heat seaters. We do have to do a little bit of wiring to make it work, but we're gonna go ahead and do that now, and then reassemble it. Most of the wiring is very easy. It's just a power and a ground and plugging stuff in. We do have to mount the new buttons. Since I'm not smart enough to make the factory buttons work, I have to mount the buttons that come with the seats. Thankfully, I'm a fabricator, so I'm gonna build a little plate that kind of goes in like so and mounts the button in there. Not quite as clean as factory, but I think when it's all done, it'll be pretty good. But real quick, I wanna talk about this video's sponsor, Drio. Drio is an awesome company that makes a lot of things, but most importantly, smart air circulator fans. Let's open these up. lineup. Now, in a previous video, I showed you guys this pedestal fan, which is Drio's Polyfan 704S. This is their kind of mid-size pedestal fan, the Polyfan 502S, and then this is their desktop fan. Now, all three of these fans have some differences, but they share a few things in common. For one, they have incredibly powerful airflow. The desktop fan can reach up to 70 feet, the 502S can reach up to 80 feet, and the 704S can reach up to 110 feet. Meaning I can be standing on the opposite side of my shop and I can still feel the fan pretty strongly. All three of them are quiet during operation. That's especially nice for the desktop fan, because I can have that thing on full blast and still do my voiceover. It's not disrupting at all. I mean, can you hear it? All three of them have 3D oscillation, meaning horizontal and vertical. And all three of them are smart fans, meaning you can control them through an app. And I could do a lot of really cool stuff with this app. First of all, you can see all the different fans that you have and the temperature of the air around them. So for instance, this one's at my house, 73 degrees right now. This one here at the shop, 82. You can see the current angle of the fan and you can point it manually. So I mean, that's nice, because say you're sitting down on the couch and you don't want to get up to turn the fan to point you. Oh wait, oh, now you can hear it probably. There's also different modes: sleep mode, auto mode, natural mode, and you can even make your own mode where it will do certain things at different temperatures. You can essentially program it to be pretty intelligent. And through things like your Google Home or your, I don't want to say its name because it's in here, it's gonna start yelling at me and it's gonna yell at you if I say it out loud. I mean, these fans have been a huge help at keeping the shop cool and, you know, somewhat bearable to work in during the middle of the summer. I mean, it's been almost 100 degrees every single day and humid. And it's, you know, it's not that bad when you're standing in line of a Drio. It's also really helped with the office because, I don't know if you can tell, my computer is in a closet. And this room gets very hot in the summer. And the AC in this house just can't keep up. I got a Drio fan over there. And now one on my desktop. A desktop top fan. Top of the desktop fan. In addition to all that, these fans are very fairly priced. The desktop fans start at just 30 bucks and the pedestal fans start at just 80 bucks. For a powerful, quiet, oscillating smart fan, that's pretty good. Right now is a perfect time to purchase your own Drio fan because it's summer, because it's hot, and because Drio is doing their mid-year sale. With that sale, you can get up to $140 off, and you can use my code Gingium to get an additional 8% off. If you're interested, I'll have a link in the description and up there in the cards. Huge thank you to Drio for sponsoring the videos and just for providing me with some awesome fans. Of course, they're not as awesome as you guys. So we have our shifter trim with the new brackets installed in there, nice and flush. I'm sure you guys have seen this stuff on like TikTok, you know, like the video of somebody putting this on their Lamborghini. This is essentially a vinyl wrap that's suede. Now, would I ever put this on my Lamborghini? Hell no. But will I put it on my $4,000 Honda? Yeah, I think so. And we're going to wrap all of the carbon fiber trim with this suede. Now, to the Honda purist, that might be a little rough because this trim only came in the 6x6 coupe, I believe, but it's ugly as hell. It's just like a hydro dipped hexagon pattern. It doesn't look like carbon fiber whatsoever. And with a little bit more suede, it's gonna make the interior look amazing. It's gonna match the seats, it's gonna look luxurious, it's gonna be sick. And so that's what we're gonna do on this. We're gonna do on some other interior pieces, and then we'll do the headliner after this. So I'm first gonna cut a piece that's about the right size here. So that looks nice. It's just the square. Oh yeah! Does that not look awesome or what? suede on this and around the shifter. Now this was the old shift knob we used. It's just like a generic Amazon shift knob. It's a bit of a spoiler, but I just really want to put it on. This is a hybrid racing shift knob right here. Does that not look freaking sick? That, and with the suede seats, I'm getting excited. Now that that center area is done, the seats are installed, we're gonna wrap that and then start doing the headliner. So now the next step is to go ahead, take out the headliner, take out the trim pieces that are gray, and then we can start wrapping those in suede and painting them black. And with that, we have a disassembled interior. Hard to see back there. The sunroof is also removed. All of the trim that was gray is removed. We're gonna wrap this with the Corbeau suede, obviously. Then we are going to paint these just black because they're plastic. And we'll paint these black as well. And the reason why I removed the sunroof is so that we could paint the cover black. Couldn't figure out how to remove just the cover, so take it all out and paint it. Definitely a pain in the butt. I'm not looking forward to putting that stuff back in, but I'm gonna go ahead and start painting so that things have enough time to dry, and then we can continue. We got our visors painted, some of the dome things painted, trim pieces over here, sunroof cover painted, and the remaining plastic trim all painted. So now we're gonna work on wrapping the A-pillar covers. These had some sort of gray cloth on them, ugly, and we were replacing it with Corbeau suede. So this is the exact same suede that Corbeau uses for the seats. So it's gonna be an exact match. It's got a foam backing, which is great for this kind of stuff too. Cut out a piece, spray adhesive on both sides, put it together, try to shape it. I did this once on the mid-engine clips. It didn't go great, but that was because we weren't using stretching material with foam backing. So this should be better because it can stretch, it can conform to the shape of the piece. Well, it ain't perfect. I didn't place it quite in the right spot, so it's on the edge right here, but it turned out pretty good. Forms really nicely. This headliner adhesive is very sticky, so that's nice. And I think it's gonna look freaking awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other one real quick, and then we can try the headliner. So, a lot of progress on the headliner. We got all the foam scraped off, and then I went ahead and cleaned it. So this is ready to go. Fun fact about headliners, which I did not know until researching to do this, it's not the adhesive that fails, it's actually the foam itself that tears apart. And so that's why you gotta remove all the old foam before you put the new headliner on. Otherwise, same thing's gonna happen. Speaking about new headliner, we got the new piece cut, and now we're pretty much just gonna get it all on there, and bit by bit, apply the adhesive, put it down, cut it to shape, and just work it until it's all good. Well, it is done. It's not the stretchiest material, so in some of the corners it doesn't go all the way down, and it is wrinkled in a few spots, but overall it's really, really good and way better than the Eclipse. And like from here, can you see a single imperfection? Probably not. When it's in the car, I think it's gonna be sweet. And so that's the next step. We already have the sunroof reinstalled, nice and black. Now we gotta do the headliner. Well guys, it's finished. Well, there it is, guys. It's kind of hard to show the results on camera because with all the black material and the 5% tints, the interior is super dark, even in broad daylight, and my camera sucks in low light, but it does look awesome. Also, as you can probably tell, the new dome lights are in, and those look awesome, especially at night. So shout out Amazon. It really gives the vibe of a like kind of luxury, kind of sporty factory interior. Huge thank you to Corbo. I'm so happy with the results. But how do the seats feel? Now, I've actually driven with these seats for a few days, and I am very happy with the results. The first thing, which you may realize on camera, is that they sit way lower than stock, which personally I love. It makes the car feel sportier, makes the car feel smaller, which is really nice because this thing, it's a kind of a big car. The seats really change the driving feel. Yeah, I can, you know, oh yeah. I ain't going anywhere in these seats. Plus, since they're suede, they're grippier in general. The leather on the stock seats is quite slippery. But even with the bolstering, they are very comfortable. I could go on a road trip in these, especially with like this armrest. I love this armrest in this car. And now with the black in the top, it looks so good in here. I love that I did the A-pillar bars because that's what I actually see. I don't really necessarily look at the headliner. I'm gonna go and turn my heated seat on. It's hot and it's summer, so oh my God, this guy is not paying attention to how he's driving. He literally was in the other lane for a good 30 feet and almost hit a car. Oh yeah, I can already feel the heated seats working. So I'm gonna turn those back off because it's plenty hot. Now the one downside about these seats is that it's gonna make getting into the back a little bit more difficult because instead of the handy dandy button just to make it fold down and go forward, you have to do it separately. But what I will say is that these seats are significantly slimmer than stock, like thinner. It really makes way more legroom for the back passengers. So that's actually another benefit I didn't even really think of. So yeah, I'm very happy with the way everything about this turned out. I mean, if you compare this interior to like the Fit, it is night and day. This thing feels so nice. I am in love with the way everything came out. The seats feel great, look awesome. The new headliner looks awesome. All the suede bits look awesome. A-Toto radio, awesome. But I need to give a huge thanks to Corbo for sending the seats out and all the material out. If you guys are interested in getting seats for your car, check them out. They've got a huge selection. They've got seats like this. They've got racing seats. They've got kind of more daily driver, just not super aggressive seats. They have cloth, suede, vinyl, leather, a combination of all those. And they have matching material for all of those. So you can do exactly what I did on my car to your car. I also bought a new wrap for the steering wheel, which was suede. That didn't show up in time. It is what it is. I'm very happy with the results, and I think that's good for a video. I've got a lot of parts to install in this thing, but I don't want to install anything else, to be honest, until I get coilovers. I've got everything, but I don't have coilovers, and I don't want to keep modifying this thing with stock wheels and stock suspension. I just can't do it. So we're gonna take a break on this. We're gonna work on Audrey's car a little bit, maybe work on the drift truck. Kind of depends on when these coilovers show up. I have no idea where they are. They're in limbo. But that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you to Drio for sponsoring this video as well. If you want to support the channel, please check out Patreon. Anyone who does that, it means the world to me and helps the channel out so much. Thank you, and I'll see you guys next time.